Peace, family. It's your boy Zay-P, the I am that I am, as you are that you are, for we are all that we are. From the individual to the many, from the many to the all, for the all is one. So, for today's video, what I want to talk about is the power of breathwork, and offer you some tips and pointers about how you can use breath work to harness energy and to focus awareness, consciousness, your consciousness. Now, when I say harness the energy, your consciousness is an energy. This is the essence of who you are, the energetic essence of who you are. You can tap into and get in touch with your consciousness and with the energy that is. That said, breath work is a very powerful tool in order to get in touch with that side of yourself, in order to get in touch with harnessing that energy and being able and starting to be able to discern all that you need to discern, whether it's getting in touch with maybe blockages within your system, or getting in touch with what the energy is about, what the intention of the energy is, whether the energy is carrying a positive polarity or negative polarity. Do you have a block in your system? Is there something negative blocking that? Is it your own tension and stress and fear-based responses? All of these different aspects are applicable to energy. And so as you start to do more of this work with connecting with spirit, with connecting with energy, you start to come to a place of needing to learn how to understand, discern, and differentiate. So with that said, breath work is a very powerful tool for that. Now, piggybacking on some of the tips that I provided from the meditation video, the thing with breath work, this is to be implemented after you've learned to settle the mind, settle the emotion, and to let the sediments settle and distill. Once you start to do that and you get to that phase in your practice, you'll start to come into sensing energy more consciously. Now, that's not to say you need to do meditation in order to sense energy. There's a lot of people who are like myself, empathic automatically, empathic through energetic sensations and feelings, empathic through emotions, physical empaths. I myself am a very strong emotional and energetic empath. Just recently starting to experience a bit of energetic empathic symptoms, but my bread and butter, so to speak, has always been energetic empathy, energetic and emotional, right? Because emotion is energy. Energy, like E equals MC squared, energy and motion. So emotion equals energy. So as an energetic empath, I've always been an emotional empath. I've always been able to sense people's emotions, people's intentions, motives behind people's actions and perceived things of that nature. So with that, already naturally comes the gift of being able to feel energy. So you can be a sensitive person, you can be an empathic person, you can get in touch with the ability to sense and feel energy just through being compassionate. You may not necessarily call yourself anything or relate to any label, and you don't have to. The fact is, energy is there, you sense it, you feel it. You step outside, you feel the cold, right? You may get a chill, you may get a shiver. That is because the energy of the cold and the frequency reacted with your body, and now all of a sudden you've got goosebumps, right? That is you responding to the energy. So I want to make that first and foremost. Meditation is not required, but if you have some sort of meditation practice, it does make this easier to step into that place of being able to consciously do this, because you'll be able to start to settle everything around you, and then you'll be able to really start to feel and experience what it is that you're experiencing. You start to feel and experience energy. So with that comes the power of breath work. Much of meditation is based on the breath. Oftentimes they will tell you, go to the breath. That is usually one of the solid lynch points in order to learn to focus the mind. The added benefit of that is that as you learn to work with your breath, you learn to work with energy in a sense, right? Like first thought, like consciousness, God, etc. So that being an energy, when you breathe, this is an energetic system in a sense, right? Yes, it's a very physical system. The lungs work, the heart pumps, the air comes in and out, yes. But the underlying energy of all of that entire activity is very energetic based, right? So what you want to do initially is just be okay with following your breath, right? Whether you do physical meditation, working out, dancing, something along those lines, yoga, tai chi, something. These things often require a level of know-how to work with the breath. So you want to get to the point where you're working with your breath. Whatever you're doing, we are always breathing. It comes very second nature, so oftentimes we overlook how powerful this action is. Because we wake up, when we come out the womb, we get that little slap that kind of jump starts our system and we start naturally breathing. Breathing comes very second nature. In a sense, we are the breath. We will always breathe until that moment we pass, and then we will escape with that last breath. So that said, working with the breath, it's a very primal thing, and it's often overlooked. So we don't always acknowledge how powerful it actually is. But in fact, it is a powerful, powerful tool. As you learn to work consciously with the breath, whether you're working out and you're learning that, it requires a certain rhythm in your breath in order to feed your body the energy it needs to get through this particular set. Whether you're dancing or running and you're realizing, I have to maintain a steady breath in order to keep my system going in a way that's like my lungs won't shut down and my body can maintain this pace. This is how the body works, right? So as you start to consciously do that more and more, you connect with the breath, that in and out sensation, you can then start to advance your skill set in order towards directing the breath. This is when people say things like, breathe into your heart space, breathe into this area of your body. Have you ever had physical therapy or physical rehab? Oftentimes as you go through the motions, they're telling you to breathe into that. Even in working out, a lot of times when you're working out, you're being instructed to breathe into that area, that specific muscle group that you're developing, right? This is the idea of directing the breath, right? So you can breathe into your heart space. When you do something, when you take an action like that, a conscious action to channel and focus your breath, and put your awareness on it, put your awareness on the breath to where you can feel that sensation, and you can feel how the breath goes into your chest, goes into your heart space. You're now working with the breath, you're directing it through the power of your awareness. You're following along. Okay, boom, I feel it in my heart space. Use your awareness to follow along with the breath. Out. In, down. You're holding your breath. My awareness is still here in my chest. Release it. My awareness goes with the breath. Right? So then you can start to direct it further. Direct it to the belly. Using your awareness, you bring in the breath to your belly. This is breathing into these lower chakras. So as you start to develop in your practice, if you sense blockages, you may sense them through your awareness. You'll sense that there's something in your gut, or that there's something, feels like something stuck. You sense these things physically all the time, right? Where, You may be having a normal day or whatever, but then all of a sudden realize you're kind of constipated, right? There's a sensation in your stomach. Your awareness senses a sensation in your stomach, and you realize, oh, you're backed up. Maybe you try to go to the bathroom. Oh, I'm backed up. So this is the same concept. Putting your awareness on the breath and directing it to where it's going internally. You can start to feel what's happening in your system internally, right? And now, when I say feel what's happening internally, I'm talking along all levels. You can start to feel what's happening physically, just like you can feel, oh, I'm kind of clogged up in my intestines. I feel kind of constipated. You can feel that physical sensation. You can also feel emotional sensations. You'll also start to notice you're feeling emotional sensations. This requires a level of being open. You have to be willing to be open, that willing suspension of disbelief that I talked about in the video of judgment. When you drop the judgment, you allow yourself to be more open. So now you can come in with your awareness, suspend that disbelief, come in with your awareness to direct the breath, direct it to the heart, right? Next thing you know, you're starting to realize there's some emotions there. Depending on where you're at currently, there may be some sad emotions you need to deal with, or some happy emotions. Either polarity, because this is the experience of what it is to live, right? So as you direct the breath internally, you're learning to direct your awareness internally. You're learning to look with your internal eye and experience what is going on within. Through that experience, that is a vision. That's you're learning to envision with your eye. Sometimes people hear the word envision and say, I can't see visions. I don't see visions. It's not a sight like you see with your eyes, but it is awareness, right? So you can feel that, and that feeling is your sight. That feeling is your seeing, right? So you direct that breath, and you can go, say you're just working with directing it to the heart, because that is the easiest place to start with, right? We breathe into our chest. We know we're breathing into our lungs. We feel that lungs. We feel that whole lung area. That's also the heart space, right? You feel the breath go into your chest. Now you can sit there with your awareness. As you hold your breath in your chest, your awareness is still with the breath in your chest. You are now sitting in your heart space. What else is happening there? Are there emotions? Is there sadness? Is there happiness? Is there peace? What else is going on there? Are you having heart palpitations? Is this heart palpitations because you have health issues, right? Like, is your heart bumping too fast or too slow because maybe your lifestyle, maybe you eat too much fatty foods, who knows, right? Or are these heart palpitations coming from a more emotional, energetic place? Is your heart space opening? I'm sitting in my heart space. My heart feels like it's starting to fluctuate, like palpitations. I know I'm in reasonable health. I'm in pretty good shape. I've been to the doctors recently. I've had my stress test, so I'm not concerned on the physical plane. So what is this fluctuating in my heart? There's a nervous energy. It feels nervousness. It feels anxiety, anticipation. Okay. Oh, a sense of love just feels like it wants to come flooding out of me. Oh, this is my heart space. This is my heart chakra. It's opening. It's opening. I'm feeling overwhelmed with energy. I'm feeling overwhelmed with love. I'm just, okay, so those physical sensations that I thought I felt, the palpitations, a little bit of fluttering, I dismissed with my discernment it being a physical thing for me to run to the doctor. So I sensed what else was going on through my awareness, sitting in the heart space. What else is going on? Okay. In that heart space, I start to sense, nervousness, anxiety. It's just love wants to bubble out of me. This feels so amazing. I am actually sitting in my heart space, and I'm connecting with feelings. I am so much more than just this physical vessel. My heart is overwhelmed, and now I am super excited. And with that super excitedness comes more fluctuations. This is the heart space opening. Oh my gosh, right? So that is just an example of how you use your awareness riding on the breath, your awareness, the energy riding on your breath to go within and see what's happening, right? So as you start to do that more and more, you start to do that in other areas in your body, right? So when people are instructing you to go and ground yourself, you take that that ability with the awareness, riding on the breath. You can take your breath and direct it straight into the earth. It doesn't have to stop with just your physical body. That is the gift of awareness. Awareness is consciousness, right? So you take the breath, you go within, you follow it along that channel, you direct it down. Okay, you're at the bottom of your lung space, but your awareness, you're not just the breath that is just held in the lung space, so you can continue to go downward. What else is happening in your system? You get into your lower chakras, you get into your root chakra, you get into the solidness of the earth, the feeling of gravity beneath your feet, pulling you to the earth. You can continue with that sensation of the energy of your awareness to go into the earth, direct it and root yourself into the earth. Now you're grounding. Okay, I've connected with the earth through where I am sitting, through the feeling of gravitation, through the feeling of my awareness traveling down. I feel more connected to the earth. Now I can continue to channel energy and emotions directly into the earth. Now I'm grounding. This is what it is, right? So as you start to do that, you start to be able to direct your breath, direct energy in other different areas, right? Maybe you're having a pain one day and you're like, what is this pains in my knees? And so you can put your awareness there in your knees through the use of the breath. Eventually you start to learn that you can leave the breath behind as you start to realize you're directing the energy itself through the awareness. But the breath is the tool we get to is a useful tool to learn how to actually start to connect with that. So as we start to discern energies and we start to use our breath to kind of go into those places where the energy might reside. Is the energy within our physical system? What is that energy about? We can start to explore these things. Now comes the use of color. Now that you have the idea that you can take your awareness, which is an energy, and ride the breath, you start to train how you can direct your energy, how you can direct your awareness. Now you can start to add other things like color, like sound, vibration, right? So say you start working with your chakra systems, right? You've learned your different chakras, you learn what their uses are, you learn what they're about. All right, the root chakra, the color is red, that is earthy, that is about connecting and grounding, etc. Okay, so I'm gonna work with the color of red. I'm going to bring the red with me on my breath to go into the root chakra to kind of fill and bolster that chakra area. I'm going to direct that energy through the breath with my awareness. Visualize, imagine, however you want to express this. Bring in the color red with the breath. Direct it to the root. Direct it to that root chakra. Fill that root chakra up with the color of red, with nourishing bright red, right? Fill that root chakra up. Now you can start to help circulate. If that root chakra was feeling blocked, you're bringing in more reaffirming energy to bolster it. If that root chakra was maybe too active and it's feeling like, okay, I am just stuck in my root chakra energy, right? I'm being very practical. I'm very in my head. I'm very grounded in the day-to-day. I'm kind of in a rut. I want to get out of this root chakra energy. Okay, so maybe the energy is too intense and it needs to be slowed down. Through your awareness, you can sense that. What's going on? Is it too active? Is it too slow? Is it not moving at all? Does it feel blocked? What do I need to kind of help bolster and affirm that energy? You start to do this along the different levels of the different chakra systems, but that's not what this video is about. We're not gonna get into all of that. But the idea is that you can start to bring in things with your awareness as you direct this energy. So now you can add different colors to the energy, right? You need the feeling of love. Maybe you're bringing in the color of pink or the color of green, because the green is the heart chakra, right? So maybe you're bringing in some pink and some green to kind of make you kind of connect with the feeling of love. Maybe you're coming to sit around in the chest area with your awareness and just wash yourself in feeling love, right? Because you was panicking and you was all out of control and you felt alone, and you just want to kind of calm yourself down and just know that you're loved. You want to bring in that color with your breath and the awareness and just sit there, you know. Maybe you can do this on a physical level as well. Maybe you're having a really bad headache, a really bad migraine. So you go into your meditation, you do a little breath work, you direct the breath to your brain, to your head. It starts to feel a little bit like a massage, a fingers massaging in your brain, very literally. So what's going on? There's something, I got a lot of tension right here in the head. In and out. Spread that air, spread that energy, spread that breath throughout the body, okay? Now follow the trail of breath that's leading upward to your crown chakra, that's leading upward to your head, you know. Give your brain the oxygen it needs, right? The brain needs oxygen. So you can consciously go in with your awareness and make sure you're directing your breath to the brain. The brain needs oxygen, just like the rest of your body needs circulation, but for whatever reason, maybe you haven't drank enough water that day, maybe you haven't been, whatever. So you start sending the breath towards the head. Okay, now your awareness is sitting in the head. Okay, I have this pain, this tension. Breathe into that space. Now you might start to feel some tingles in the head. Woo, it feels like a little bit of a massage, a little bit of a release. What's going on with this tension? What's going on with this headache? Oh, I need to get rest. Or maybe I need water. Maybe it's something else altogether. Oh, I'm feeling blocked in my crown chakra. So maybe I need to direct energy to the heavens. Open it up. So you direct that energy towards the head, towards the crown chakra. What colors feed the brain? What colors feed the crown chakra? Well, I know violet is for the crown chakra. And I know just light in general, light can work to feed the brain. So you're sending that towards the brain, you're sending that towards the crown chakra. You're clearing out a block. Oh shoot, I had a block, I didn't even realize. Now my headache starts to feel so much better. I've opened up some space. You know, the energy that was trying to come in or the energy that was trying to get out was blocked. And so it was sitting in the head. That's what this headache's about. So I've opened it up. I've blown my top open, so to speak. But this is the value of working with the breath. The breath is a useful tool to start to learn how to harness your awareness and direct energy and work with energy, which becomes very important as we start to work with the energies that we are communicating with and interpreting, okay? So just a few pointers. I hope that'll help make some sense as you develop in your meditative practice and you bring in elements of the breath work, colors, visualizations. You can start to really enhance your experience, and then you can start to, these tools will help you develop as you go on to connect with energies, as far as discerning what those energies are, what those energies are about, what type of help that they might need, assistance they might need, what kind of information they may be bringing into you. Start to use the breath as a tool to carry your awareness until you learn how to use just energy and your awareness into and unto themselves. Hope that helps. Peace.